So this is where I'm at currently for the Styrofoam drawing I started seriously working on yesterday. I drew the revolver, and initially I thought about doing 2 revolvers on each side. A revolver on each side for a total of 2 revolvers. That would be different models, but then on one side I decided to do a machete. Yeah, I know this is a dark green, but it's usable as a dark hue of gray. I'm deciding that I could do boots with at least part of it a crocodile texture. The first thing I did during the morning hours was to do that belt. A snakeskin pattern with different hues of gray. Then after that, I did the revolver and machete. After I think I did the detailing for the pants. And the boots. Basically the basic outlining. As such, I think maybe I did the revolver and the machete during the noon, early afternoon hours. Then turns out I made the leopard/jaguar patterning jacket. I turned it into a vest because there was a point in which I considered doing leather for this, but it turns out, because of how I've designed it, I'm going to have to stick to what I did originally. I can't do leather on the sides and the big cobra on the front of the shirt. As for the vest, Dad got these fries and the sandwich during an after-work trip to Burger King. For the fries, he put on olive oil, Cajun spice, and the 2 lower spice of a total of 3 different man crates spices that I got for Christmas. First the zesty day of roll, then the fiery puri spice. Initially, I was going to have my half of a chicken fingers sub that Dad got from Salvatore's. Yesterday after work. But I ended up having it at around 1:30 p.m. Because at noon, I wanted to keep working on the newest Styrofoam drawing. These are all the Sharpie markers, to my recollection, that I've used so far at one point or another while working on this Styrofoam drawing. And yes, Jaguar in Spanish is the same as it is in English. I had a hard time believing it myself at first, but in Spanish it's not it's not pronounced Jaguar, it's pronounced Jaguar, more like, because the Spanish J sounds like the English H, and the Spanish H is silent, and thus the Spanish word for man, while there's an H in the beginning, it's pronounced hombre. I used a combination of a bronze metallic Sharpie marker and then a black Sharpie marker for the bigger leopard spots, and then just a black Sharpie marker for the smaller ones. Most likely I have enough for every side of the vest except the front. Obviously I need more for that. At this point, I'm pretty close to finishing the Styrofoam drawing. It's just that after I finish the vest, I just have to do the t-shirt, the shoes, and an eagle feather patterning for the hat. I did what I did for the knees and for the knees on the front and some of the pockets on the sides in order to make the pants look worn out. I think that's why, like, worn out from doing a lot of manual labor, a lot of work. I'm thinking. At least that's how I think that ends up happening to a pair of jeans. Since I saw a pair of jeans that looked faded within Vion Studio at some point, and they were faded at just the knees. And that pants option within the character creator, the business-friendly character creator window, is still there. One of my fellowship members introduced me to Elven Stats, the website, which apparently has data from every single player of Elvenar. Things like your current ranking, how many points you have total, how your score, which is how many points you have total, has changed over time, how much of the space in your city is taken up by goods buildings, manufactories basically, workshops that produce supplies, cultural buildings, ancient wonders, residences, those sort of things. The history of my score has been a steady rise over apparently the past 2 years. I think the game took a snapshot of my score at least once a week. That Elven Stats website. It also recorded my performance in every single tournament I earned points in. The fellowships I've been a member of. And it's like that for every single player. And the website also records what chapter you've reached, The Hofflings chapter is the 11th chapter. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. And it records the rate at which I produce everything, except for Divine Seeds. Maybe it doesn't have the data for that yet, or it doesn't have a metric for that yet. Either way, it's a community-driven tool that keeps track of data from every player, it seems. So that anyone can later look at that data and then the website also has Elven Architect, a city planner tool, where they give you a visual grid of everything in your city. So that you can then change up the grid and rearrange your city. This is something that one of my guild members, fellowship members, offered to do for me. Basically take my city on a grid and then rearrange it so that I have more space. And it seems like a great idea. And my one red line, though, is that I want to have a city with every single ancient wonder. That's the first priority. During the later afternoon and evening hours, after I finish drinking all the coffee, the plain coffee, out of a pot, during the morning hours from maybe around 6 in the morning to noon, during which I had a few cups, I've been filling up this cup with tap water from a sink. And it's been quite enjoyable to sip at some water while working on the newest Styrofoam drawing. It is currently 10:41 p.m. And we're approaching the time I typically sleep for the night. These days. Typically, I fall asleep during the early night hours, which I think start at 8 p.m. these days. And then I end up waking up in the early morning. But I get up during the morning hours. I started editing and uploading the June 2nd My Dinner video around 1:30 p.m. And according to the dashboard, it uploaded sometime between 5:30 and 6 p.m. So during the early evening hours. Not only did Dad stop by Burger King after work, he also stopped by Aldi's and presumably got a pack of these cookies. He tried looking for a cheesecake at Aldi's, but they didn't have it. And the chips I had with my sub half that I microwaved for 1 minute and 15 seconds. I had with a couple handfuls of Mystique barbecue kettle chips. This is my magnesium water over here, water with a magnesium supplement. Excuse me, and in the morning from 6 to 7 a.m., in that same glass, I first had zinc water with olive oil mixed in, and then apple cider vinegar, which Dad prepared for me. Now, in the same cup, I'm having, at this time, just magnesium water. Some magnesium water that's intended to make it easier to sleep. Not sure if I've noticed anything yet, even though I've been taking it for a while. Off and on, depending on whether I'm with Dad or not, generally speaking. When I first started filming this video, I recall sometime between 10 and 10:15 p.m. I was woken up by the food arriving after Dad prepared it, even though it came from Burger King. He cooked the fries in the oven with olive oil and those 3 different spices while microwaving the Whopper for somewhere between 30 seconds and a minute. The result was pretty enjoyable. And it's definitely a nice effort. It does turn out some pretty good fries.